Hello guys and gals, this is going to be part 12 of the Fables of Leonardo da Vinci. In the last one, we read, I think that we've already read that one. I don't remember what we read. I know where we are now. Oh yeah, we read about the miser and the bull and so forth. Anyway, we are to... I need to sit a different way because my feet are losing circulation. Okay, this will take just a second. Okay. Yeah, put that aside. Okay. Okay, now we are ready. We are going to take we are going to be reading from the Walnut and the Bell Tower. It is from Fables, Atlantic Code, 67, reverse, and facing page. We are going to go back here and confirm these codes. I think Atlantic Code is, here we go. I don't know why everything's so dark here. Anyways, located in the Biblioteca Ambrosiana, Milan, Italy. Okay, that's good to know. Now, why is it so dark? Okay, there we go. You can adjust the brightness a little bit. I don't know if that's brightness or not. Oh well. Anyways, a crow picked a walnut and carried it up to the top of a huge bell tower. Holding the nut between his claws, the bird began to peck at it with his beak to open it, but the nut suddenly rolled down and disappeared into the crack in the wall. Fair wall, begged the walnut, realizing that it had been freed from the crow's fearful beak. In the name of God, who has been so good as to make you tall and strong and enriched you with these fine bells that sound so beautiful, save me, have pity on me. I was destined to fall beneath my old father's branches, it went on, and to rest in the rich earth covered with yellow leaves. Do not abandon me, I pray you. When I lay in the terrible beak of the fierce crow, I made a vow. If God let me escape, I said, I promise to finish my days in a little hole. The bells, with a gentle murmur, warned the bell tower to take care, because the walnut, might be dangerous. But the wall, moved to pity, decided to shelter it and let it stay there where it had fallen. But in a short time, the walnut began to open and put roots through the cracks in the stone. Then the roots forced their way between the blocks of stone. The branches began to peep out of the hole. The branches grew, became stronger, and stretched up above the top of the tower. And the roots, thick and twisted, began to make holes in the wall, pushing out all the old stones. The wall realized too late that the walnut's humility and its vow to stay hidden in the hole were not sincere, and it regretted not having listened to the wise bells. The walnut tree went on growing, and the wall, poor unhappy wall, crumbled and fell. Yep, you always have to be careful who you trust. Or that's my takeaway from it. Next we have The Stone and the Road from Atlantic Code, which, as we know, is from Ambrosiana, Milan, Italy, is on page 175, the facing and the reverse page. Okay, we're going to look at this tree here because, I don't know. Once upon a time, there was a big and beautiful stone which had been smoothed by the water. After the water had gone, the stone remained exposed on fairly high ground at the very edge of a shady wood. From its position, surrounded by fresh and fragrant herbs and many-colored flowers, it could see the stony road running below. One day, looking at the road, on which a large number of pebbles had been thrown to harden the surface, it was overcome with longing to be down among them. What am I doing up here among these flowers? I want to live with my sisters. It seems only right that I should. So saying, the stone moved and rolled down, ending its erratic course right in the middle of the pebbles whose company it so desired. All sorts of things passed along the road, carts and iron-bound wheels, stamping horses, peasants with hobnailed boots, flocks and herds. The beautiful stone very soon found itself hard-pressed. Some turned it over and trampled it, some kicked it a short way, sometimes it was smeared with mud. Looking up at the place it had come from, the stone sighed for the loss of its solitude, and longed in vain for the peace it had once known. The fable is for those who stupidly come from the peace and silence of the green countryside to the city, among people full of boundless evil. Wow, that's kind of judgmental, but that's also very true. Especially true of like New York and Chicago and, all those COVID-infested towns. The Cedar and the Other Trees. It's from the Fable, Atlantic Code 67, page 67, reverse and facing page. And as we know, Atlantic Code is Ambrosiana, Milan, Italy. Okay, we're going to just look at this right now. Okay. A beautiful cedar tree stood in a garden with many other trees. It grew taller every year, and the topmost branches stretched far above all the others. "Take away the walnut tree," said the cedar, puffed up with pride at its own beauty, and the walnut tree was removed. Take away that fig tree," said the cedar. "It annoys me," and the fig tree was cut down. "Get rid of those apple trees," went on the cedar, holding up its splendid head, and the apple trees were swept away. So one at a time, the cedar had all the other trees cut down until it stood alone, master of a whole vast garden. But one day a great wind came. The beautiful cedar fought against it with all its strength, gripping the earth with its long roots, but the wind, with no other trees to halt it, cruelly bent and battered the cedar, and finally, with a mighty crash, threw it to the ground. Sometimes we need other people's help, but we don't ask. Next we will read The Falcon and the Duck. It is from Fable, Atlantic Code 67, facing and reverse page. And as we know, the Atlantic Code is Ambrosiana, Milan, Italy, if you want to actually find the actual script. Okay. Every time he went duck hunting, the noble falcon was furious. Those ducks almost always succeeded in making a fool of him, diving underwater at the very last moment, and remaining submerged longer than he could hover in the air waiting for them. One morning the falcon decided to try again after circling for some time. With outspread wings, to review the situation, he carefully picked out the duck to be captured. The noble bird of prey dropped like a stone, but the duck was quicker and dived head first. "This time I'm coming after you," cried the falcon in fury, and dived in as well. The duck, seeing the falcon under the water, gave a flick of his tail, came to the surface, opened his wings, and began to fly. The falcon's feathers were soaked, and he could not fly. The ducks flew above him, saying, "Goodbye, falcon. I can fly in your sky, but you in my water you sink." Oh, boy. "Goodbye, falcon. I can fly in your sky, but in my water you sink." And that was The Falcon and the Duck. This will probably be the last one we read. These are all kind of long, so I only want to read like 4 or 5 at a time. But this is The Flames and the Cauldron, and it is from Fable, Atlantic Code, page 116, facing and reverse side. As we know, Atlantic Code is Ambrosiana, Milan, Italy. Okay. In the midst of the warm ash, one ember still glowed. Very carefully, very thriftily, it was using up the remains of its strength, feeding only enough to keep itself alive. But the time came to put the soup on the fire, and so fresh wood was thrown into the fireplace. A match with its little flame revived the ember, which by now seemed dead. The tongue of fire licked around the wood over which the cauldron had been placed. Cheered by the dry logs that had been put on it, the fire began to rise, chasing away the air that slept between one piece of wood and another, and playing with the new wood. And it amused itself running over and under the wood, weaving in and out, and spreading more and more. Then its tongues began shooting outside the wood, opening many windows from which spurted showers of glowing sparks. The dark shadows fled from the kitchen. Meanwhile, the flames grew more and more joyous, playing with the surrounding air and beginning to sing with a soft, sweet, crackling sound. And now the fire seemed that it had grown up beyond the wood. Now the fire, seeing that it had grown up beyond the wood, began to change. Usually mild and quiet, it became proud and overbearing, imagining that it had bestowed the gift of flame on those few pieces of wood. It began to breathe out clouds of smoke and to fill the hearth with explosions and showers of sparks. It flung a great flame upward, determined to fly to heaven, and battering itself to extinction on the black bottom of the cauldron. Sometimes we get a little bit overzealous in what we do. And I think that we will leave it here and start with the vine and the old tree, maybe the lion and the lamb. We don't really have very many of these left. This is a very long one right here. But yeah, we are really making good progress in this book. But yeah, we have been reading from the Fables of Leonardo Da Vinci. There are 73 total. And we won't have very many episodes of this one left because we are getting to near the end of the book. But with that being said, this will be the end of the video. I appreciate everyone sticking around to the end. And make sure that you like and subscribe if you like this content. And also ring the bell to know when I upload. Also, I appreciate all the support. If you like this kind of stuff, then all the information is in the description below. Thanks again for watching, everyone, and have a great day.